Hello everybody, and welcome to For Honor, a game review. Now, I give this one a lot of time because any new game that comes out always has a problem with when it comes to online play. That's something that happens with all new games, especially if they put such an emphasis on online play versus the first person campaign mode, story mode, history mode, whatever you want to call it. So I decided to give it a pretty long while just to make sure to clean it up, get rid of all the bugs and glitches and whatnot that are going to happen. And as I'm playing through the story mode of the game, I realized all the story mode is just one very long tutorial. For a tutorial, it's extremely long. For a first-person campaign mode, it's actually pretty short. So, what's the play on online play? Well, the gameplay of the game is actually relatively extremely simple. Pick one, A, B, or C, and strike. That's really it. You don't really even have to block. And it's just pretty much rock, paper, scissors type of mentality where it's just pick a side and attack, pick a side and attack, and pick a side and attack. This is not, if you think about it, there have been other games that have had better melee combat options than this. And which one to pick? Which one is the superior one? Samurai, Viking, or Knight? Well, all three of them play exactly the same. Even the dual-wielding berserkers for the Viking class attack one side at a time even though they got two weapons. They have one weapon in each hand and they both go for one side. It's just... what? No. That's not how it happened. That's not how it worked. That's not how it should work. Like, this is what I would do. The Knights, obviously because of their suits of armor, would have a heavy emphasis on defense. And what they have on defense, they would lack in speed. The Vikings attack, obviously, high amounts of attack, low amounts of defense. The Samurai, they have speed. That way every group has an advantage and then one disadvantage. Like a disadvantage for the Samurai could be attack. You compromise attack for high speed. With the Knights, you compromise speed for high defense. With the Vikings, you compromise defense for high attack. There was a way to balance all that out. Instead, they decided, no, we're just going to make them all the same. They all play the same. They, all everything. That way it's nice and balanced. But then there's no strategy. There's zero strategy when it comes to this game. You don't have to think anything. There's no thought process. How many wars have been won with strategy? All of them. Pretty much, I can't even think of a war that was ever won without using some form of strategy. But you could beat this game without strategy, but then again, if you don't want to, be good at the game, if you don't want to practice and hone your attacks properly, you can always just go to the microtransactions and buy all the cool stuff. That's after, of course, you paid at least $60 for the game. Some people actually paid $100 for the special edition, which consisted of something that they couldn't even use. They had to wait till the online network was set up and everything like that. And there's a reason why every video game company has this kind of problem. It's because it's a lot more financially sound to underestimate the amount of people that are going to be online. You can never guess exactly. So they always underestimate it because that way it frees up server space. That way they don't wind up buying all this extra stuff when they don't really need it. It's not lost. That way they don't lose an excess amount of cash on it, because they can always build up from what they have. That makes sense. So I'm not going to complain too much about that. What I am complaining about, though, is just the fact that you don't even have that. If you buy the game and you don't really want to play it, or you don't have the time, but you want to be immediately the best soldier there is, you could just buy it. It's pretty much play to win, or pay to win at this time. And you win what? So you could push the attack button faster and pick one side out of 3? Because of the severe lack of strategy involved in this game, there's really no need for you to even think about what side you're going to attack. Just boop, 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 boop. Real quick, one and done almost. This is Ubisoft at its best, people. Where they just put out kind of like a cheap effort, not really a whole lot of substantial content in it. Again, the story mode, the first person mode, is nothing but a very long tutorial on how to play the game. And for something that has such a simplistic gameplay, it's really not necessary. But is this game going to get a sequel? Yes, it is, because Ubisoft, as we know with Assassin's Creed, they milk the cow until the cow keels over. And then they still try to milk it again. And they're going to keep on doing that with For Honor, and I really do see it getting a sequel because of the amount of initial success. But once you break it down and get through it, you realize it's not really all that great. It's not something that people that have spent $100 on would probably feel justified in. Because if you feel justified on that purchase, then in fact I got some magic beans you could pay $100 for. And then you pay more microtransactions, and then the bean will grow into a tree. Again, because they're magic. Give me money. That's pretty much what Ubisoft did. It was like, I know you spent $100 on the game, and I know our online thing's not working right now. It'll work in a couple days, and then we're going to give everybody that bought even the $60 game, we're going to give them the same benefits that you have. Oh, excuse me, except you could have little logos on the shield that you never see. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, that's worth the extra $30. I don't understand why people flock to these type of things. I mean, if you know Ubisoft's history, you know it's not going to be great out the gate. You know online's going to have some issues. And it just blows my mind on how many people keep going. I mean, is For Honor 2, which might probably, knowing Ubisoft, it will probably come out sometime next year. Is that going to be better than this one? Probably not. I mean, and as it is right now, if you know a little thing about human psychology, you're going to, before you buy the game, before you pick which one of the 3 factions you play as, you're going to look online, you're going to do a little research, and you're going to find out which faction is already winning, and you're going to join their side. Because nobody wants to be on a losing team. So you'll start off winning right off the bat. And one, that's human nature, that's going to happen no matter what. But if it could have been different if the factions played differently. As I previously stated, there was a way to kind of give it a better sense where one has emphasis on defense, the other, you know, that could have been a much better idea. But nope, we're not going to do that. We're just going to just flat out make it all the same. Just change, you know, they did that because it's a lot easier to do. Because the exoskeletons of all the characters all play the same. So all they did was just reskin it. Just reskin, new faction. Reskin, third faction, okay, done. And it's this half-ass effort that people do complain about when they see it, like say in Assassin's Creed Unity, of how nobody really even beta checked it as far as I'm concerned, with all the glitches and various things that happened with it at release. And as far as Ubisoft is concerned, that's forgivable. That's okay, because we let it. Listen, it's one thing to sit here and complain about it. It's another to just keep on buying it. Because as long as you buy it, they don't care what you say about it. Because you're giving them money. I mean, I can pretty much guess that there has been at least one person in this world that has already spent $200 at least on the microtransactions for this game. After paying $100 for the game. That's $300. That's a lot of money. All that so that you could say that you're a champion of For Honor? Well, okay. Well, guess what? Everybody's champion. Everybody became champion for a couple of days. Overall, I would give this game a solid 5 out of 10, if anything. Mainly because it's not the generic first-person shooter. Graphically speaking, it looks wonderful. It does look great. But it's the gameplay core is what hurts it. It hurts it at such a level that it does knock it down a few bunches. The lack of initial online content knocks it down. The prolonged tutorial for, its history mode also knocks it down. And it's just, you pick a side and you hit the button. That's it. And people might say, oh, well, don't all games play like that? Not necessarily. There's games that require a ton of strategy. And those strategic advancements are better than just mash the button and win. Or I should say in this case, mash the button that says, yeah, I'll pay an extra $20 for a microtransaction. Done. Ooh, I'm better because I paid more money. It shouldn't be like that on a full-priced game. If this game was released for free and the microtransactions came in later, then I could accept it. I would easily accept it. This game was not worth $60 at its release, let alone the $100 that some people have paid for it. It's not fair. It's not fair that it's an unfair game because all the emphasis is on how much you can pay in the microtransactions in order to get the better equipment. And if you have the better equipment, it can kind of cover for you not playing the game all that great. Like say if you're just having a hard time getting the extremely simplistic combat down. If for some reason you're having difficulty with it, you can always just pay for it. I don't know what else to say. It's something that could have been prevented easily. And the only way to prevent this from happening in the sequel that's coming up probably sometime next year is to not buy For Honor this year. I would only buy it on a discount shelf. And speaking of discount shelves, as I said in my previous videos about Resident Evil 7, I said I would only purchase it if I saw it on the discount shelf, which was given the fact that the way that Capcom does its business and the way that they've treated the Resident Evil franchise over the years. I've heard great things about this game. So I am going to buy it on discount when I see it, and then I'm going to play it. Well, I already saw it on discount. I got it for 20 bucks off the used shelf. So I'm going to go ahead and give this game a checkup. That'll be my next review. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like the content that you're seeing and hearing before you, please hit that subscribe button for more. You can check out all my other past videos. You can check out my music that I've done over the past year almost. And if you want to stay up to date on what's going on, make sure to click that little bell alongside the subscribe button. And give a thumbs up. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.